If you've ever been involved in creating a new website or managing a website, you know the work is never truly done. There's always edits to be made, new content to add, and things behind the scenes to do to make sure your website's running efficiently and being protected security-wise. Thing is, every once in a while, though, it's important to do a more broad refresh or rebrand of your website. So in today's video, we're going to talk about things to consider before undergoing a website rebrand or refresh. The first question we want to talk through is, how do you know if it's time to rebrand your website? Now, the most common thing we talk about with our clients or prospective clients at Buddy is a pretty obvious one. It's that the website just looks dated. Maybe it's been a while since it last was updated. Maybe you've got competitors whose websites just look better than yours. And basically you're thinking, you know what, it's just time to make this look a little bit nicer. Sometimes though, there are things behind the scenes that might prompt that change as well, like maybe your company or business or brand has evolved. Maybe you're offering new products, new services, you might have new team members, and those might be prompts for a new website refresh. Also, you might have over time learned more about your target customers, and you found more information or learnings about who's buying your product, who your best customers are. So it might be a good chance to refresh and rebrand your website to better target those specific individuals or businesses using the language and imagery and other things that will help attract those types of customers for you. Another common situation too we see with clients is that things are going really well and it's time to level up. So if you're doing really well and you want to position yourself as a leader in your space, and your senior competitors might just have a little more polish or something a little better looking, and you want to one-up that, then it might be another good chance to refresh or rebrand your website as well. The next question to think about is, how far do you want to go as far as the rebrand and relaunch goes? On a more simplistic level, you could keep things pretty basic as far as essentially giving your website a new coat of paint. So new colors, new fonts, new layout, maybe some new pictures to really help your website pop and seem a little more up to date. On the other side of the spectrum though, it's really important to have all of your marketing materials, including your website, as well as other collateral, be really congruent. So you might want to think about not just updating your website, but thinking about other brand assets like PowerPoint templates, business cards, letterhead, brochures, all those things. You might even want to think about, do you want to update your color palette, your font selections, and other kind of core iconography you use for your brand? And really, what's going to drive that most is your sense of how your business is doing, how well it's resonating with customers, what's working, what's not, and how dramatic of a change really makes sense. And then also there's some consideration as far as budget and timeline as well, because obviously the more you want to revamp things, the deeper you want to dive into how to best target your customers going forward as well. Once you've decided how far you want to go with your website refresh, it's time to start thinking strategy. So this is in terms of not just what's in scope or out of scope, but also thinking about timelines, budget, and also a rollout strategy. Now for the latter, the rollout strategy, if you're just doing a basic website refresh, you can launch that whenever the website's all done and ready to go. But if you're doing a more dramatic or more broad refresh, like maybe you're really substantially rebranding your business, then maybe you want to think about a rollout plan as far as how are you going to communicate that to your customers, maybe explain to them why you're doing the refresh, that kind of thing, just to make an easy transition from the prior brand and presence they've done before versus how you're presenting yourself going forward also. And then of course is really going to depend on how broad and how dramatic the change is in the refresh as well. If it's just a new website, people will probably get that unless there's some majorly dramatic navigation changes or things like that. But when it comes to strategizing around budget and timelines, that's really a key conversation to have with the professionals you're working with on the design and development side. Really creating a website and any other marketing collateral does have some inherent, work that has to be done, and that affects costs and timelines. But one big driver really, once you actually get into the project, is dependent on how available and how much you and your team are able to commit and help out with the process also. While your developers and designers are going to know their jobs really well and how to take your vision and translate that into a functioning website or other marketing collateral, probably no one's going to know your business or your customers as well as you do. So it's really important to have your time to provide content or provide feedback on content, and also just make sure everything's resonating really well and making sure that you have time to provide feedback for the team as well in a prompt manner, just to keep things rolling also. So those are really key considerations to think about and strategize around as you get going on a website project or a website rebrand, both when you get it started, but also when you get towards that launch phase as well. One of the next questions to think about if you're creating a new brand is what things should you keep and what things might you want to update or get rid of. And really it boils down to both internal and external factors. Internally, you want to think about how well is your website and brand reflecting who you have been versus who you are going to be or want to be going forward. And then also for your customers externally, who have your customers been, and then going forward, who are they going to be as well, and what's going to best resonate with them as far as look and feel, colors, layout, all those sort of things that are going to best resonate with your target customers. Now, as far as what to keep, what to update or get rid of, branding wise, talking with your designer will really be an important step as far as who your customers are and how best to develop materials and aesthetics that resonate with them. But behind the scenes, something to think about also as far as what to keep and what to update, you want to think about SEO, or search engine optimization, which basically is the art and science of how does Google or other search engines crawl and find your website and prioritize it in search results compared to all the other websites out there as well. If you've put a lot of time and energy and maybe money into search engine optimization, you definitely don't want to lose that traction you've gained so far. So it'll be important to work with your developer and let them know what your efforts have entailed. And your developer can work with you as far as maintaining a site structure that will help keep you where you are or advance where you are in Google, redirect pages, things like that. If you really haven't, though, on the other hand, spent a whole lot of time focusing on SEO, the rebrand and revamp really should help that process, because it's a good chance to use new technology, create a more efficient or more effective sitemap, and do other things that are going to help your website be found more effectively in the search engines. Once you get rolling in the process of rebranding and relaunching your website, you really want to think about how are you going to best position your website and build it in a way that it's going to work really well for you over the next several years. Granted, you're probably going to want to, over that time frame, edit things, add new content, change new photos, and evolve your website. But the underlying technology and structure should be good for a while and be built in a way that's going to help your website provide a really good user experience, reflect your brand really well, and also help your website be found in search results and on social media and by other visitors as well, and lead to conversions as far as sales leads, contacts, things like that, whatever your calls to action are on your website also. One thing, of course, to keep in mind beyond those factors, though, too, is mobile friendliness. As you probably know, there's a lot of searches and a lot of people viewing websites on tablets and mobile phones. So having a responsive website, something that is kind of non-negotiable nowadays for websites, where it's really important to make sure they work really well on all those different devices. If you're interested in rebranding your website or just want to have a conversation to explore what that might entail and bounce some ideas around, certainly feel welcome to give us a call or get in touch at Buddy Web Design and Development. We're very happy to chat, and for us, really, we take a lot of pride in what we do, and for every single project we do, we want to do a great job aesthetically, technically, and provide each of our clients a great experience. So if there's ever a situation where someone has a project or an idea and we don't feel confident we can knock it out of the park, we'll be the first to let you know, because only taking on good projects is what helps give us a good reputation, and not doing a good job doesn't serve anybody in any good way whatsoever as well. So you're always welcome to reach out and get in touch and chat about possible projects and what would be a good fit as well. If you'd like to learn more about Buddy and check out our portfolio and see some of the work we've done, you can visit our website at buddywdd.com. rebrand.com. If you like this video and found any value, feel free to go ahead and share this video, or on YouTube, like or comment as well. Thanks. See you soon.